Hi guys, Omar with Overlanding Just Cause, and in this video I'm going over an updated walk around of the OG Jeep Commander. Alright, so if you've been following me since the beginning, you know that I turned the Commander into an overland vehicle. I had the dual battery, I had the fridge, I had everything in the back of the vehicle. Took the third row seats out, the whole nine. Well, kind of ran out of room. So that's why we went to the trailer, put everything back there in the trailer, and now the Commander is a troop hauler again. So let's just start with the basics. I got a 4-inch Superlift. Unfortunately now Superlift doesn't make the 4-inch for the Commanders anymore. So if you want to lift the Commander, you have to go with something like a rough country puck lift, and it's 2 inches. As far as wheels and tires, I've got the Black Rhino 18 by 9.5 Glamis rims. It's a -18 offset. And as far as the tires, I got Falcon Wild Peaks 285/65 by 18s. So far, I've had them on for about 2 years, have had no issues, no complaints with the Falcon Wild Peaks. So I'm very happy with these. Over here to my left, I've got the Rocky Road Rock Sliders. I get them on their website. They make them for the Commanders. And again, no issues with them. I haven't had the pleasure to knock some rocks into them, but I look forward to it. I think they're gonna hold up very well. And again, they're here for protection. That's not my goal, is to bang them against rocks. But in case I ever need them, I know my door and my chassis will be safe. So in the front, I have the Wham bumper. I've gotten a lot of comments on my front and rear bumper. And after COVID, Wham, W-A-M, they stopped making the bumpers for the Commander for a lot of vehicles. The company kind of just had a hard time through COVID. But now they've gone under some new ownership. They actually moved the company, and I just went on their website this morning, and they're making the bumpers again for the Commanders, plus a lot of other older vehicles. So check them out if you're interested. Front and rear bumpers, they're back on the website. Now, what I added to the bumper itself was this bull bar, the space for the winch, and places for recovery points. The winch, I have a Smitty built 12,000 pound winch. It's with synthetic rope. It has the wireless remote. I check it every couple months just to make sure the connection's still there, everything's still good to go, and it works, right? The night light that I have up here, I made a video on these lights. One has held up, the other one has gotten condensation. What I did when I first got both lights is I siliconed, made sure all the edges were tightened, and the one up there on the roof rack has held up perfectly, no condensation. This one, not so much. So even with siliconing it and making sure all these little nuts are tight, I still got condensation in it. So it sucks. I have to take this apart, wipe it down, but it's a $20 light. More than likely, I'll just upgrade to something else. But I think with any of these off-road lights, outdoor lights, I'm still going to, it doesn't matter what brand it is, I'm still gonna silicone it, and just to kind of help it with the weathering. So as far as the roof rack goes, it's held up nicely. It's a Rhino rack. I did not get the backbone or the spine or whatever they call it, where you connect it to the side. All I bought was a couple extra roof rails, and I just mounted it with some metal bands, and it's held up great. It doesn't budge. As far as the cases go, these two smaller ones are monoprice. I got them on Amazon. This one back here is a Pelican case that a buddy of mine gave me. And what's funny is that the monoprice cases from Amazon, obviously they're smaller, but even the same size is still a lot cheaper than the Pelican brand. And the monoprice cases have held up a lot better than the Pelican cases. These cases down here, these cheaper cases, actually look exactly the same as how I pulled them out of the box when I first got them. Not so much for the monoprice case. It's weathered badly, it's faded, and I would have thought that it would have been the other way around because Pelican, you know, is obviously a pretty good brand. But all three are still watertight, still airtight, still dust free. It's just the sun has beaten this one a lot more, made it look old. On this other side, I have my OVS 180 awning. And if you guys remember, when I first started my YouTube journey, I had everything on the other side. So switched around. I had my Pelican cases on this side. I had my awning on this side. But ever since I got my trailer, all the cooking and the hanging out is on the passenger side now. So I switched everything so that I have even more shade on the passenger side. And then again, right in front of you, I have a 42-inch night light bar. In retrospect, if I were to do it all over again, I would probably get something more low profile, but it's held up. It's still condensation free. Again, I sealed it up as best I could and it's held up. So I'm happy with it. It's gonna stay for now, but if it ever goes bad, I'll just get a more low profile type bar. So the rear bumper, again, it's a Wham bumper. Just like the front, the powder coat has held up very nicely. You have several different options on the Wham website as far as the look of it, the things that you can add to it. The only thing that I've added to it is the tire arm. And if you guys notice the jerry can holders, they're road hook jerry can holders I got off Amazon. The thing was, they were for Jeep Wranglers and the fitting wasn't right. So what I ended up having to do was I got my guy to cut off, weld a plate, and now they're held on with these two bolts that go through the tire arm. This one's still a jerry can holder. This one went from a jerry can holder to a propane tank holder. Now the propane tank is inside the trailer, so I've turned it into a dog ramp carrier. This is a dog ramp, and in the rear is the dog staging area. I have the barrier here so the dogs won't go through. I have my medic bags that are on there. I still have the fire extinguisher here, and I still have my battle axe. Only difference with the battle axe is it's been chewed up a bit from Athena, the Roddy. But I put the third row back in just in case I needed it. I built a smaller platform, put this rubber for protection, and then the actual cushioning. I still have this 4-gang right here, and the only thing that's connected to it right now are these lights. I didn't want to take the lights out, but because the main battery is in the trailer, what I ended up doing is going on Amazon and I bought a little 12-volt 6-amp-hour battery that I need to charge. I just installed that probably a couple weeks ago, and right now it ended up dying. I don't know, it's probably been a couple days, but I'm guessing it lasted 2 weeks. So I have to put it back on the charger, and this will be something that whenever we go out, I can just put it back, slide it back underneath here, and it will give me lighting to my rear, and plus I'll be able to use the 12-volt and the USB. It's not an absolute have, but I already had the lighting here. I already had this connected, so I might as well. And this little battery costs maybe 40 bucks on Amazon. Also back here I have my bug out bag in case something happens where I need to go on foot. I have my Camelback, I have water purifier, I have some snacks, MREs, and it's a small gray man bag, so not military, not tactical, just something that kind of looks every day. And then in the front, again, try to clean it everything once a month. The Wolfbox rear camera, The only other thing that I've changed has been the 6-gang switch panel. When I first got it, what I ended up doing was putting the 3M sticker and sticking it right here, which I liked, but it didn't last the summer before it just fell down. So I'm glad I kept the little bracket for it. So I put the bracket on, and this bracket is supposed to be for like your dashboard, but I didn't want it up here. I didn't really want it to be seen. So what I did was it just connects right there. Quick fist mount, still holding up great, holding my flashlight. So question for you, what else would you add to the Commander? Something that is obviously usable that I would need. So for example, there is one thing, it is pricey. It's a company called Trailed, and they have a gas tank to take the place of where the spare tire goes. Here's where the spare tire is, or used to be, and I would still use the same hook up here. It drops down, and it's a tank that's the size of a spare tire. You crank it up, and I wouldn't call it, I guess it would be an auxiliary tank, but it's not one that's connected to your fuel line. So if you ever need it, you would have to take the time to drop it down, pull one of them out, and then bring it around to your to the gas where you fuel up and pour it in manually. It would be a pain. It is in case of an emergency type deal, but they don't make auxiliary tanks for the Jeep Commander. So if I want extra fuel, that would be the way to go. And I believe that gas tank holds 18 gallons, which I'm good with. I do have a jerry can that holds 5 gallons that I can put right here in my jerry can holder, but I don't know, 18 gallons sounds a lot better. All right guys, so that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Again, if you have any suggestions for me on something to add to it, please leave them in the comments. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video.